To this week's G.I. Joe toy review, where we'll be looking at the popular figure of the month of June, which will be the Iron Grenadier Destro, which is a very popular figure, a very popular character, whether it be the original arms dealer for Cobra Commander Destro with the silver head, or the Iron Grenadier Destro with the golden head. But also we'll be doing a compare and contrast as well in this video with the comic 2-pack black-headed Destro, which is basically the same figure, but as you can see, very different in color apps, paint apps. But before we get to the video, let's do our usual shout-outs. First off, at Back to the Media at 41 South Loudon Street here in Winchester, Virginia. You can find them on their website at www.backtothemedia.com, or email them at backtothemedia@gmail.com. You can also find them on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And you can go there, find all your video game needs, comics, toys, and movies. And they got their video game systems dating all the way back to the Atari. And while you're in the neighborhood, check out Time Traveler Toys and Collectibles. Once I can get rid of that glare. There it is. There's their logo. Time Traveler Toys and Collectibles. And they're at 115 South Loudon Street. And you can go there for your comics, toys, and collectibles. And they sell everything from Thundercats to He-Man to G.I. Joe to Transformers to Star Wars to even wrestling memorabilia, as well as other G.I. Joe stuff, or toys and collectible stuff. And you can find them on Facebook, and you can follow them on timetravelertoys@gmail.com. Go ahead and check them out while you're in the area. Check out both stores. They're pretty cool stuff in there. So let's go ahead and look at Destro, starting with his file card, where it says Iron Grenadier Leader, codename Destro. File name, Destro James McCullen. Primary military specialty, weapons manufacturer. Birthplace, Callander, Scotland. It says once a major supplier and advisor to the Cobra organization, Destro now pursues his own diabolical aims, building up a small army of Iron Grenadier troopers from his private bodyguards. He incites unrest in unstable countries, creating new markets for his armament. As his influence grows around the world, he dreams the dreams that Cobra Commander once dreamed. One of his ancestors started the family fortune by selling arms to both sides during the English Civil War. One ancestor was caught in the act by Cornwall's men and was made to wear an uncomfortable steel mask. Sorry, y'all. They had to punish him, but they still wanted his weapons. Since that time, the lords of the Destro clan have worn the mask with pride and passed it down to succeeding generations, which is a quote. I'm not sure whose quote it was. It wasn't Destro, because they did refer to Destro as a third person. But, pretty cool file card. So, let's take a look at, his accessories. First, the traditional G.I. Joe figure stand. Upraised Cobra logo, codename Destro on the front. As well as the alternative color, the variant. Like I said when I first reviewed this particular Destro with the black head, and I also said it in the Iron Grenadier video, it would have been good, instead of having the Cobra logo, of having the Iron Grenadier logo. That would have been totally awesome. On the golden headed Destro, all his primary revolver is gold, to match the color of his head. On the black-headed Destro, the revolver is black. And he also comes with his traditional ceremonial sword. Golden-headed Destros is a gold knuckle guard with a silver blade, while the black-headed Destros has a silver knuckle guard with a golden blade. And as you can tell, it does have the gold paint syndrome, where it rubs off very easily. The golden-headed Destro's belt with attached sleeve is gold, where black-headed Destro's is black. And I did make an assumption in the video on this Destro where the belt was non-removable when it actually is. So let's go ahead and take a look at Destro. This is the one we'll be looking at. Being that this is the feature Destro of the month, which you can see with the golden head, with golden shoulder shoulder piece, which I'm not sure what that is, but you know, it's pretty cool looking. And he's got his trademark red cape with his entirely black uniform with the silver badge right there, which I'm not sure what it is, and it looks like he's get the continuation of the cape right there. And this is what the Iron Grenadiers look like in the whole general concept of the Iron Grenadiers in the vintage run, with the colors primarily being gold, red, and black. So let's take a look at the articulation, which his head does rotate the full 360, which it's kind of rough, but it does work. There we go. It's kind of stiff on this example. Yours might be stiff, it might not, you know, I'm not sure. And his arm does lift to there. Rotates the full 360 around the arm. Bends at the elbow. Rotates at the elbow. And he does rotate at the wrist. Full 360. He does have the ab crunch feature. And he has the typical T-hook at the legs, which can spread about to there. He can lift to there. He has a single knee joint like the black-headed Destro and the original silver-headed Destro. He does have the ankle pivot, as well as the ankle twist, which comes to a full 360. You know, so let's compare and contrast the two Iron Grenadier Destros. As you can see, it's like the same basic figure. Color differences in the figures. So anybody would want to get this one, and this one's a real common one. This Destro is this version of Destro is a collector's comic 2-pack edition. There wasn't that many of him made, of this particular looking Destro made. You know, there was a couple hundred of them made. So if you can get your hands on them, go ahead and get your hands on them. But this Destro is more of a common Destro, because it comes in the Iron Grenadier Cobra Command 3 High Command 3-pack. You know, as well as single carded. So there's a lot of this particular Destro floating around. So let's go ahead and look at both Destros all set up. And here we go with both Destros set up. As you can see, I put their swords in their hand, you know, which is actually pretty cool. And I even threw in, to show in this one, the original Destro with the silver head, which mine actually has a spot where the paint's rubbing off on the head. But as you see, the contrast in the colors of the head. For this is the original Destro, the Mars owner and operator, as well as right-hand man, the Cobra Commander, and Serpentor. and the Iron Grenadier Destro, and the Iron Grenadier Destro. You know, as you can see the subtle change in between the two Destros. Both of them are like very, very cool and very, very popular. So I really like to add to this one. You can see vintage versions of this Destro with the Destro Despoiler on ACC 788's channel, as well as Forum DX257. So check out those videos for the vintage versions. But this Destro made his first comic appearance in issue number 60, I believe. If I'm wrong, correct me in the comments below. He also made his first cartoon appearance in the 5-part miniseries from DiC, Operation Dragonfire. So go ahead and check that out. My thoughts of this figure is a really awesomely designed figure. I think this one, the updated version, modern updated version, is a lot better than the vintage, in my opinion. You know, this has always been one of my favorite characters and one of the most popular. But amongst G.I. Joe fans. But so I would rank this Destro as a top tier figure. You know, really, really high on the top tier, due to its enormous popularity and as much look he had in the much usage he had in G.I. Joe media. Yeah, I would recommend this figure as a must buy for every collector. Because if you don't have either this Destro or this Destro, you know, your collection is not really complete if you don't have both of them. So I would highly recommend this figure. I would suggest this for anybody, any collector that collects G.I. Joe figures. I would, like I said, you know, I would really recommend it. I'd even recommend this figure in the comic 2-pack with the Iron Grenadier. Just so you could have the variety and within Destro. So tune in next week as we review the G.I. Joe pilot, the updated version of what ACC called an ugly ass figure, which the vintage figure was an ugly ass figure. So he had to write and call him that. But we'll take a look at the modern updated version of Windmill, which actually they did a lot better in the sculpting of the new Windmill. But you know, more on that next week. So tune in next week to watch Windmill. This has been Destro. Technically all three versions. This was my very first video, so it's really awesome to get to look at another figure of Destro's. Because this is the particular Destro that was my first review ever, which will be beginning July 1st, next month. In a month, this will be a video that was 3 years old. So I'm really glad to have reviewed it. So I might have to do another review of him sometime in the near future. That's an updated video. So thank you for the 3 years on YouTube. So tune in to watch the 3-year anniversary show. This has been Destro. Like I said, tune in next week for Windmill. So